Welcome back for the second segment of the November 17th Trips and Traps. Andy Serling, joined by Eric Donovan.
And since he did so well a couple of weeks ago at the Breeders' Cup, winning the Ladies' Classic and the Classic, we figured we'd devote this episode of Trips and Traps solely to Bill Mott-trained horses.
Absolutely. A couple of Bill Mott horses that have real futures. And I think one of them more obvious than the other one a 2-year-old and one a 3-year-old.
We'll start off by taking a look at that 2-year-old in a maiden special weight race going 6.5 furlongs. It's the 2 Common Bond, a son of Hardspun.
Yeah, Common Bond is, to me, a very interesting horse. I have to honor and serve making his debut. Now, he took a little bit of money. There were a lot of firsters taking nibbles here. An impressive win consortium in this race, a Darley horse. But Common Bond, I think he spends the first part of the race getting shuffled back from sort of reasonable position in there, shuffled back to the absolute back of the pack.
And the horse, I mean, Common Bond's a 2-horse. The horse that had the rail, the one, scratched out of this race. So essentially, Common Bond has the rail, and never an easy thing for a first-time starter going 6.5 or 7 furlongs. And as you see, just some other horses get in front of him there, gets shuffled back, loses a couple of spots of position there, and a horse that's going to find some run late, but right now finding himself off the screen.
Yeah, I just think he ran like a horse that just probably needed a start. He didn't really have much speed. It's not like he was dramatically slow early. He just kind of got shuffled out of position as the race went on. And as they'll turn for home, we pick him up. He makes a little bit of a run, and I don't think he really gets his legs under him until it's way, way too late here. And there he is in those very easily identifiable silks, the red and sort of gold. And I just feel like this horse gets it going as the race is over. And you could say, well, maybe the race had sort of fallen apart at that point, but not for my money. I think this is a horse that will be much more professional in his second start.
Yeah, still has a couple of horses in front of him right there. Gets, in mid-pack at this point here, still finishing up pretty well. And, just considering Bill Mott, he's not a guy that gets those firsts cranked up all that much. And considering what this horse went through in the race, I would figure second time out, this is a horse you want to pay some attention to.
I very much do, and I wouldn't have any problem seeing him stretch out as well. And also be interesting, because of obviously the purse here this winter, you're going to see trainers leaving horses here in the winter that you might not have expected. Not to say this horse won't show up at Gulfstream, but he could very well show up in New York, especially early in the intermeet, even though they start at Gulfstream in December. Wherever he runs, though, Common Bond is a horse that I want to bet on.
Next horse we'll take a look at is on the grass here, and this is filmmaking for 3-year-olds and up. Now winners of 1 allowance, a mile and a 16th. Filmmaking going to have some trouble at the start. Yeah,
you'll see. He breaks a little bit slowly. He's just sort of not really into it at the start, and then he gets bumped after that. Now, he's a horse that doesn't want a mile and a 16th anyway. He obviously wants to go farther. His damn filmmaking obviously deserves, doesn't need any introduction. She was a very, very good runner for these connections, the Bill Mott trainer, and she wanted much longer. This horse had improved last time on a soft turf going 1.25 miles. I just don't think that Bill can find any other spot to run him in.
No, not this time of year. Here in New York, you're not going to find too many long-distance mile 3/8 type of non-winners of 1 allowances. And there's filmmaking all the way toward the back of the pack. And you're right, he definitely improved last time out. It's a 3-year-old Stormcat horse getting kind of late in the 3-year-old season here. But, judging from the way the dam was, you would expect him to improve maybe even a little bit more next year.
Yeah, and especially with Bill Mott, he's taken his time with this horse. And you look at him, and he's been a slow developer. Now, obviously, you expect him to be closing a bit at the end. And it was a fairly run race, as you had a horse in front of sort of bears out, but Hyper was right there. He ends up getting beaten at the wire by this horse. So it was a fairly run race. But I think when you consider the early trouble, filmmaking drops so far back, he doesn't want to go this short. He is real. It's not fake suck-up running at the end. He is really motoring as they're coming down the stretch. And you watch the head-on, which we're not going to show, you can almost just feel him running by horses.
Yeah, he puts in an excellent late run in here after running 3 races at 1.25 miles or longer, so it does have that good late kick. And there's filmmaking right there toward the back of the pack. Still has a lot to do, about 10 or 11 to make up here to the leader.
Yeah, you're talking about a horse that got beaten 2.5 lengths for all the money in the race. I mean, he feels like
trouble there too. Had to steady off heels.
Yeah, I mean, right. He tries to go inside of horses. He's held up for at least a split second. I just feel like he's turned the corner. I don't think that we're sharing any earth-shattering news on this horse, and people will pick up on it. But I'm not sure that Filmmaker isn't the kind of horse, or filmmaking, that he's a non-winners of 1. It's not. I think this is a kind of horse that might actually be able to make a real step forward down in Florida and get some distance races. And I won't be surprised if by the time we're talking about races at Belmont Park, he is a much, much better known name than just an allowance horse.
I think you could definitely be right about that. And, also a horse that you take a look at his past performance line. And as you said, he's been kind of a slow developer, taking a while to get to where he is now. You see his career record, he's 1 for 11. That's not going to get, that's not going to get the blood flowing for for too many people. So I think you'll get some kind of fair price in this horse next time out.
Yeah, and next time, or even going forward, I just think he's a promising horse. Once again, trips and traps at NYRAinc.com.
Thanks for watching.